Do the police have to tell me why they stopped me while we're at the side of the road? The answer is no, but ultimately the police do need to justify why they stopped you in either the ticket they provide or the police report if there is, unfortunately, some sort of arrest. So every single day I get phone calls, hey, Marc Lopez, the police stopped me. I wasn't doing anything wrong. They're lying. Or, hey, Marc Lopez, the police officer stopped me. He wouldn't tell me what I did. I may have been speeding. I may have been swerving, but he wouldn't tell me. I don't think he knew why he stopped me. Or, hey, Marc Lopez, the police officer told me he stopped me for speeding, but on the ticket he wrote swerving. Okay, so let's talk about this. In Indiana, an officer must observe a traffic violation to pull somebody over. There are some other reasons why they can pull somebody over, but let's focus on traffic violations or ordinance violations. So they have to see a traffic violation in order to stop somebody. And this is actually in the Indiana statute that says an officer is allowed to stop a vehicle so long as the officer has a good faith belief the vehicle has committed a traffic violation or ordinance violation. But even without this statute, the United States Supreme Court and the Indiana Supreme Court have said, hey, you know what? If an officer observes a traffic violation, they can stop that vehicle. So all the officer has to do to stop a vehicle is observe a traffic violation. Now, Indiana has a statute that says an officer can make a traffic stop last as long, but not longer, than the time necessary to tell a person why they were stopped and to give them a ticket. But if you look at this statute closely, it does not say an officer must tell a person why they were stopped. It simply says that the length of the stop can't exceed the time necessary to do X and Y, which is the length of the stop can't exceed the time necessary to tell the person why they were stopped and give them a ticket. Again, it doesn't say they have to tell them why. Now, realistically, even if an officer tells, and this happens all the time too, why'd you stop me, officer? I'm the one asking questions here. Those are the fun officers, right? But realistically, even if you get one of those fun officers, deputy dog, as I like to call them, ultimately the officer does have to justify why the person was stopped when they write a traffic ticket. It's going to be on there, failure to yield, speeding, or whatever the hundreds and hundreds of traffic laws we have. On the ticket, they have to write the reason why. Now, if there's an arrest, it gets more complicated and there's often more confusion because typically the arrested people don't get a ticket from the police officer. And so these people call me. I don't know why I was stopped. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I get it because it can make a lot of confusion because there's lack of information. But ultimately, the police report, and for DUIs, there's going to be 2 police reports. Other crimes, usually only 1. It's going to state why they stopped them. And it has to be a legitimate reason. I've never seen a police officer submit a arrest report and put on there, I had no reason to stop this person. This never happened. 20 years of being an attorney. Maybe one day it will, though. But ultimately, they do have to justify. So while the officer does not have to tell you at the side of the road why you were pulled over, ultimately an officer does have to justify that with the courts. And the reason is often found in the traffic ticket or the police report. So the answer to, does an officer have to tell you why they stopped you when they're at the side of the road? The answer is no. Unfortunately, Indiana law does not support that.